Brought to you by Naturals to Go, the VIBEcast is your gateway to realizing your entrepreneurial dreams.
Hey folks, Linda Ballesteros here I'm your host today on VIBEcast, and I appreciate you spending some time with me today. I know we're always so very busy and we have all these plates spinning, so I'm always honored when someone finds some time out of their busy day. I recently read an article. I love sharing information that I've found. The title of the article was Expectations versus Reality of Starting and Growing a Small Business. So the article says many people start a business expecting that it will make them rich fast, but you must work hard, respect your limitations, learn new skills. That's a huge one. Take risk and overcome many challenges before building a successful and sustainable business. That's what we're going to talk about today with Amber Smith. Amber and her husband are entrepreneurs. They have been for quite some time. They have a young family, and they recently launched their vending machine business, and she's going to share with us a little bit about what that process looked like. Amber, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Well, I love your background, and that doesn't look like it is, that looks real.
Oh,
Your,
it
your
is.
background, that's
Yeah,
gorgeous. Looks
it's my
like you're
house.
outside. I love
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I
I
love
should
that.
turn it around and show you the pond. It's beautiful.
Oh, oh, nice, nice. So, Amber, you guys just recently launched your vending machine business. Um, Tell me a little bit about what you were looking for when you started searching for a business opportunity or a franchise, and how did you come back around to Naturals to Go, making that decision to launch a Naturals to Go business?
Sure. Well, we were looking for something that we could start and was going to make us money really quick, just like you talked about. No, just kidding. So we have been entrepreneurs for 12 years and just very passionate about business. I went to school for business. And so when we were looking for something, it was kind of more along the lines of we've already had success in other business ventures. And so we kind of were like, we have the time, we have the money, we have resources. We didn't want all of our money in the stock market. We wanted to be diversified without pulling away from some of our other things that we were doing. And so this just seemed like the best viable, not seemed. We went through probably 12 to 15 different franchise opportunities, pretty deep in the vetting process, and probably like 4 or 5 of them before realizing, like, okay, we have two under two, we have a couple other businesses. The brick and mortar franchise route wasn't exactly going to fit into our lifestyle or what we wanted and how we wanted to live our life. And so we had looked at different vending. We're very health conscious people as well. And so we were like healthy vending, even though, we still put some non-healthy things in our machines because they do really well. But we were like, vending is that perfect balance of the investment that put in versus the return that you're able to get, the time that you're able to put in, that we're still able to do things that we're passionate about. We're still able to have a life. We're still able to be with our kids, which is, super important to us. And so it just was that perfect balance of across the board. It checked the box for everything that we were looking for. It was going to give us, more income. It was going to help us diversify, but we were still going to be able to live our life and be parents and be husband and wife and be business owners in our other avenues that obviously are already established. And so when I tell you we looked at so many different things, this was by far the best thing that was going to fit, but also the amount of investment that you have for other, franchises and things like that versus what you have to put in here, it was like a no-brainer for us to pursue this. And obviously we're super glad that we did.
That's a great story, Amber. Appreciate you sharing that because I think it is important for people to see what the options are out there. Because many times we work with candidates who are coming right out of corporate. Maybe they still have a corporate job and they don't know what's out there. you guys have been entrepreneurs, so you knew some of the things to look for. So that's great information. So tell me a little bit about the process along the way, including the training. How did you guys feel about the training that you went through with Naturals to Go?
Okay, so when I first was coming on board, I first of all, I never felt sold on this opportunity. I guess he's sales, but I never felt sold. I messaged him after the training and I was like, "You did this training a disservice. Like, why didn't you tell me how amazing it was?" Like, so we not only learned so much actually, because we are local to kind of where you guys do the trainings, they actually let us come back for like a little bit of another training right before we placed our first machine because it had been a few months and I'm like, I just want to make sure everything goes well. Can we even can we come back just for a little bit? I don't want to take away from those who it's their first training, but they were like, absolutely, like, please come. So everybody has just been incredibly supportive. The process has been amazing. We kind of learned that we can do this. We can also locate our own machines. I love what the article that you were talking about. That has been a mentality that we have had as, this is not, we are not going to create success overnight, right? Like it's going to take some time. It's going to take some footwork. There's no easy thing out there. We're gym people. It's just like going to the gym. We're not going to go to the gym once and be like, where's my abs? Like there was years of maybe unhealthy habits or unhealthy eating. Like you're not going to fix it in one workout, right? Same with business. And so we realized like, man, we can do this. And obviously in having the support of the locating team and things like that, they were like, yeah, you can kind of do this. Like you can kind of do this on your own too. Like go for it. And so we've been able to locate oh my goodness. So we have 7 machines. We've been able to locate 5 of them on our own. Some of them it happened really quick. We went in and we're like, hey, we're here to upgrade your vending, and having those conversations. And they were like, great, when can we get a machine? I'm like, well, let me order it. And then some of them have taken a little bit longer. We just closed a really big account. It's like 1,000-person facility, a plant. And so it's definitely a location that is like, man, when we were looking at starting vending, we're like, we're going to be in there. We're going to be in there. And it took us 6 months to actually close that deal from the time I sent the first email, because you can't just walk in there, security, all of that kind of stuff, to the time we got the machines in there. It was a 6-month process of following up, of email after call, after voicemail, to the point where I had gotten a hold of her, the decision maker, and she told me, yeah, we're definitely looking, to upgrade. We're not satisfied, which is the story most of the time. You just gotta kind of go in there and be assertive and go. But she was like, we're not really satisfied. And then we were looking to book a meeting. She was like, let me get back to you. My fault, rookie mistake on not keeping the ball in my court, right? I should have said, oh, let me follow up with you kind of deal, but rookie mistake. Anyways, I kept following up, and to the point where I finally was like, hey, I know you mentioned you were looking to upgrade your vending. At this point, I'm not able to get a response from you. At this point, it doesn't seem like you guys are looking at this point in time. Maybe we should revisit. And she came back immediately and was like, no, no, we are. How about, next week? And we booked that appointment for next week. And then the process started rolling from there. Lots of training and lots of corporate kind of things that they have to go through in order for a new vendor or whatever. So, but anyways, it took 6 months and I'm like, and if I would have, given up, or if I would have been like, oh man, they're just not interested, or if I, wouldn't have been as assertive as I, was, and then this is not me trying to toot my own horn by any means either, but if I wouldn't have just kept going with all of those success principles that you learn, right? Like, go for no and all of these things, just keep going. They've been in their location for about 8 days now, and they are on track to like triple what our expectations were for that machine. I mean, we're like blowing our minds with my husband has to keep going up there and filling them because they like just buy all this stuff. And we're like, this is amazing. Like it's definitely surpassing our expectations, but I just think back like, okay, if I would have just been like, "Oh man, they're just not interested." So my message is just keep asking, just keep going, like go for no, like if they're not interested, somebody will tell you no, but just keep asking. Even sometimes the people that say no, they just don't know what they're talking about. They might just be having a bad day that day because they definitely need your vending machines.
So, Amber, when someone is just starting out and they're looking at a large account like this, um, maybe they feel a bit intimidated by that. How did you get that first conversation? How did you get that door open? Because sometimes that's the biggest hurdle right there is being able to talk to someone. How did you make that happen?
I'll just say this, like, if you're new and you are feeling intimidated, like, I absolutely felt intimidated. Like, even though I talk to people for a living, like, I have no problem talking to people, but I'm, like, new at this, you know what I mean? Like, it's normal to feel like I think I texted, it was either our coach or something. I'm like, I still don't really know what I'm doing, but like it's going, it's working, like I'm figuring it out. But utilizing connections is huge. We live in a very small town. And so like utilizing connections. And I think that goes back to like kind of just how you carry yourself as an entrepreneur. Like if we treat everybody the same from the custodial staff to the CEO to whoever, like you never know who you're talking to. You never know who somebody knows. And so we utilize our connections like crazy. But we don't just try, like, we always try to add value to people. So even the person that gave me the connection, we want to make sure we add value to that person too. We're not just, taking, and being on the receiving end of so and so's connection or whatever. Hopefully that makes sense and I'm communicating that right. But utilizing connections, we all know people who work at companies that we want to be in. Okay, who's the decision maker? Who would I need to talk to? And that kind of thing. Cause so connections have been huge. And I don't think it matters if you live in a small town or a big town. It doesn't matter. Everybody knows somebody who works at a company that you want your machine to be in.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And so, were your expectations? We talked a little bit about expectations. Were your expectations for the vending machine business? What did they look like in the beginning, and how does that compare to what you have right now?
Okay. So this is funny that you say this because before even looking into vending, I always thought like, like what everybody else thinks about like expired product, like half full, rinky dink machines that have like you found on like I don't know, Facebook Marketplace or something like that. So when I started looking into these, I was like, oh my goodness, these are like the Ferrari of vending machines. And I hopefully that's an okay car to use, but I'm like, these are like the best of the best like machines out there. Who's not gonna want these things? Like personally, I'm like, I never really bought from vending machines before. I might be, don't judge, don't judge me. I might have been a little too bougie in that area or something. I'm not saying anybody who does is bad or anything like that, but I just personally was like not a vending machine user. But I'm like, I would use these machines. Like I would absolutely buy something from our machines just because they look beautiful, they look clean, they're new, like all that kind of stuff. So, needless to say, a long-winded answer to your question, it has completely being in the vending business has completely surpassed all of my expectations. Naturals to Go has surpassed all of my expectations. It is really set up, and I hope it's okay to say this. It's really set up almost like a franchise. Like you have the support system to run your own business. Like the kind of the two entities. Like anytime we run into a hiccup, I'm like, my account manager, Tim, like what do I do? And he's so quick to respond. I'm like, where do you get that in small business today? Like, if I was going to go open, a business on my own, it's up to me to figure it out. Whereas I can just plug into a system that works for people and have success because they're teaching me, what to do, what not to do. Hey, here's what's going to work. We actually just signed up for the optimization course, not because things aren't going well, but just because we want to learn as much as we can. So Naturals to Go offers so many tools and resources that are available to you. Like utilize them. If people aren't having success, hopefully I can say this. If people aren't having success in their vending business, like, I really think it's their fault. I hope it's okay to say.
It's all good, but just like the article says, that you have to work at it.
Yes.
You know, I don't care if it's a franchise. I don't care if it's a business opportunity. I don't care if you have a partner there. If you're going into business, you're going to have to roll up your sleeves if you want it to be successful. Now, it could be successful down the way. It just may take a lot longer if you
Yeah.
don't get in there and make it happen. So
That's
it's
such a
great
good
that you
point.
guys have definitely jumped in, and with the excitement and the energy that you have to just take on all the challenges. So Amber, let me ask you this. We're getting down close to the end of the show, and I know you've got babies in the house. So if somebody is listening and they're thinking about starting a business, why would you suggest to them that they consider Naturals to Go?
Oh my goodness, if I haven't been an advocate so far, um, I think that the support is everything coming from a business degree, which I always tell people means nothing because not to belittle it, but I didn't learn how to go through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship in school, right? I think business is hands-on learning. But the amount of support that you get from Naturals to Go, and it's not going to be somebody texting you or calling you, "Hey, how's everything going today?" Like, I'm the one that has to reach out and communicate and seek out the help and seek out the information, right? But the investment is compared to a lot of other things out there. And I don't like to, just compare, be like, oh yeah, those are bad, because there's a lot of great ways to develop income and to create, whether it's financial freedom or whatever it is that people are looking for these days. There's so many ways to do that. But from the investment side of things, I think this is a no-brainer. I think that this is an incredibly profitable business when done right. And the Naturals to Go, I remember even our locator feeling like he was a part of a family. And I certainly feel that way. Anytime I went to the training, when we went back to the second time, anytime we go to the regional operations center over in Savannah, or over near where we live, um everybody treats us with like wanting to help and wanting to see us succeed. And I think this is just a testament to Naturals to Go as well, that they are, even though we're so close to a operation center, a regional operations center, they don't want to step on our toes and they still want to see us succeed. And they're like an advocate for us to succeed. And I just think that speaks volumes to what the company represents and wanting to see their operators succeed. And I think that's huge. So
Yeah, I love that advice. I really do because um, it is a great way for even those people, because it's such a simple business model. It is a great way for those that don't have that business degree to start their own business and not be intimidated by it. Certainly, there's going to be that learning curve, but it's much easier to get your arms wrapped around a simpler business model than it is something a little more complicated.
yes. For sure. Even from like a tax standpoint, like so many people, business can be so intimidating for people, and I understand that. But like when there's a blueprint or just like just plug yourself into a system that is working, that is versus trying to like, oh, let me go buy some machines off of, we would have not have been created any success whatsoever, I don't think, buying machines randomly to try and like, okay, now what do I say? Like there has been just a blueprint and a template and a success pattern that we can emulate and model after. And that's why, I mean, and again, not tooting myself, we're not trying to be like, oh, my God, like nothing like that. But that's why our machines are being profitable, is because everything that we've learned. We would not have learned this on our own. And if we did, it would have taken us years. So being able to plug into a system cuts years off your journey. People want that quick success. It will cut like months or years of failing forward and headaches and trial and error off of your journey if you just listen to people who have done it, gone before you.
So true. So true. Amber, thanks again for taking some time away from your family and out of your busy day. And I really did enjoy your story. I appreciate you sharing it with others. I know many will benefit from it. So I really appreciate your time.
Good. Awesome. Thank you for your time as well.
Absolutely. So, folks, I want to leave you with this quote. It's a T.S. Eliot quote. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. So I appreciate your time today, folks. Thanks so much for joining me today on VIBEcast. And until I see you next time, go out and live the vibe.
That's a wrap for this episode of the VIBEcast. We hope you've been inspired and empowered on your entrepreneurial journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on all your favorite platforms to stay connected with the Vibe community.